Alright, so I know I said this video was going to be on JKD, and I'm still going to do the JKD video for sure, but I had to call for an emergency last-minute switch-up. I was going through my list of requests and mapping out my plan of attack, so to speak, and found out that one of my absolute homies, one of the most active members of this community, Brino, requested a video on the Tiger King technique 2 fucking years ago that I still haven't done. I then went through my list of requests and found that I had a lot of requests half a year to a year and change old that I still hadn't done, so I've reorganized my list of requests so that the older requests get priority, because I was dropping videos on month-old requests while Brino's request was decaying at the bottom of the pool. That said, what better way to follow up a Styles Explained for Baki's total fighting style than one of the most iconic moves in Baki and Garouden, a move Baki alone has ever used in Grappler Baki, and a monument to the friendship between the brilliant author of Garouden, Bakuyumi Mikura, and the fantastic creator of Baki, Kisuke Itagaki.
If you want to lie down, then you can do that all you want after you're dead.
Hey, look at that, he's got a new intro. Yeah, I had to make a new one because the copyright for Stains of Time has gotten really bad. Several videos I've made with thousands of views are just ineligible for monetization, so I just stopped running my intro for a while, but to celebrate going through my backlog of requests, I made a new one. Also, just as I'm writing this, that setup with the what better way to follow up da-da-da-da-da-da was just too perfect for an intro to not do something with it. I could feel that shit. Anyway, back to Tiger King. No, not that Tiger King, this Tiger King. For those of you that don't know, Tiger King is a technique from Takemiya Ryu, a fictional style created by Bakuyumi Mikura in his series Garouden. And yes, Tiger King is, in fact, from Garouden. Garouden has a roughly 40-year publication history starting in 1985, whereas Grappler Baki was originally published in 1991. The reason it appears in Grappler Baki is the same reason that the Garouden manga was illustrated by Grappler Baki's Kisuke Itagaki, why Bakuyumi Mikura is credited as suggesting Katsumi get Retsu's arm, and the same reason why, through the Uenshi Gaiden, Garouden and Baki now canonically share the same universe. Bakuyumi Mikura sensei and Kisuke Itagaki sensei are very close friends and colleagues. So, what is the Tiger King? The Tiger King is a special fighting technique wherein the user lets his opponent perform a hand strike on them, only to counter by catching the strike, using his leg to climb onto the opponent by placing one leg on the back of the opponent's neck, and then kneeing him in the face or chin with the other leg. The technique is then finished by putting the opponent into a variation of the straight arm lock, pinning them belly down, and being in a position to break the opponent's arm if necessary. The Tiger King, in both Garouden and Baki, is the most powerful technique in Takemiya Ryu karate, a mostly unknown descendant style of Yagyu Shinkage Ryu, an old style of Kenjutsu, or Japanese sword arts, from the late Muromachi period, so from 1336 to 1573, that incorporates Jujutsu and spawned many styles of Jujutsu. Despite being a style of karate, Takemiya Ryu is closer to Jujutsu, likely being based on Takanoichi Ryu Jujutsu, as it uses both bare-knuckle fighting and weapons, something more common in Jujutsu than karate, or the art of the empty hand, and it's compared to the real-life style of Araki Ryu Jujutsu, which is also descendant from Yagyu Shinkage Ryu as well as Takanoichi Ryu. Takemiya Ryu focuses on throws and joint locks just as much as it does strikes, and the founder, Hikojiro Izumi, Soichiro Izumi's ancestor from the Edo period from 1603 to 1868, was strong enough to beat bears and bulls bare-handed, so not only is it versatile, but it's effective too, and up until being inherited by Juzo, Tanba, and Himekawa, it was actually only passed down specifically through the Izumi bloodline. The reason why Takemiya Ryu is seen as one of the strongest styles in Garouden, and why its strongest technique, the Tiger King, is seen as the ultimate technique is because the style on the whole is the perfect blend of striking and grappling, and the Tiger King technique is the perfect embodiment of that fusion. The crux of the entire conflict, the main theme of the entire narrative of Garouden, or at the very least the main vehicle by which the plot moves forward, is the discussion of twist or fist. Which is the better way of fighting, striking or grappling? Which is the more effective martial art, karate or wrestling? Who is stronger, Shozan Matsuo or the Great Tatsumi? The story seems to at first be a clash of these two diametrically opposed ideologies, but remember, There are 3 strongest men in the world. The third, at least until his defeat at the hands of Bunshichi Tanba, was Takemiya Ryu master Soichiro Izumi. In a battle between Twister Fist, here we have a master of both, who, while defeated, has 2.5 students who are every bit as good as him in terms of skill due to his teaching them, younger and stronger than him, and masters of the series' most powerful technique, the embodiment of the combination of striking and grappling, the Tiger King. And of course I say 2.5 because Himekawa is, at his core, a Hokushin karateka and is only briefly cross-trained in Takemiya karate. Granted, the only 100% Takemiya fighter taught by Izumi is Juzo, since Tanba already trained Takatogi karate, but regardless, all 3 men inherited the Tiger King technique. Juzo himself even took it a step further and taught the Tiger King to Hiroshi Nagata of Fa Pro Wrestling. So while it's a similar instance to Himekawa, where someone from outside Takemiya was taught the technique, Hokushin in Himekawa's case and Fa Pro Wrestling in Nagata's, Juzo still taught the technique, and Nagata was able to pull it off against even a genius like Himekawa who also knew the technique. Takemiya Ryu has different techniques as well, most of which being grappling techniques such as the more ubiquitous Ude Hishigi Juji Katame, the deadly Hina Otoshi, both a non-lethal and lethal variation, the ground grappling strike counter Kizura, and even a special secret technique in the form of Jikaburi, but the Tiger King ranks above them all. It's the greatest, the most powerful, the strongest technique, and the only one that perfectly represents Takemiya's philosophy and practice of mixing striking and grappling seamlessly and equally. The popularity of this technique, either be it from Garouden or Baki, has caused it to appear in many different anime and manga. So many, in fact, that its popularity has somehow gaslit people into thinking that it's a real technique that Yume Makura or Itagaki simply adapted into their novel/manga. Regardless, its popularity definitely seems to come from a combination of its perceived effectiveness, even in real life, its uniqueness, its finish factor, or its ability to finish fights or turn the tables of a fight in a dramatic and awesome way, and its being an iconic move in Baki, as well as the first thing to indicate a shared universe for Baki and Garouden, as well as some people's first introduction to Garouden. As far as a real-life equivalent, the closest you could get is really just a flying knee into a Juji Katame or armbar, maybe specifically a belly-down armbar, but there's nothing specifically like Tiger King in that it's a counter-grapple to a grappled jumping knee strike into a pinning arm lock. That said, though this technique and Himekawa's modification of it has a 100% success rate in the manga, in real life, it's like any other technique. The more devastating and the more complex, the lower the success rate. Striking the Jinshu point between the nose and upper lip with an Ippon Ken can knock a person out much more effectively than a simple strike, even to the chin, as you are striking a massive nerve cluster in the philtrum, but the odds of you landing that specific strike versus a normal punch to the jaw is low because of the accuracy needed to hit. For the Tiger King, its low percentage comes from its points of failure. The fact that it's a counter grapple into a grappled knee strike to the arm lock means that if you're unable to counter the grapple, the move fails. If you're unable to get your leg around the opponent's neck and land the knee strike quickly enough, the move fails. Even if all else succeeds, if they block or tank the knee strike, they can reverse the arm lock before they're pinned and locked, and even if they are pinned and locked, there are escapes, just like Chad from Scenic Fights pointed out in their recent short covering the Tiger King. But on the reverse side, I actually don't think the entry is that unrealistic as long as you time it correctly and use a bit of baiting or prediction. If you notice your opponent has certain tells, like say a small step towards their target when performing a 1-2, or they drop their hands or position their feet in a certain way before jabbing for a 1-2, or they tend to follow their right crosses with left hooks, you can certainly use that information to do what Baki and many other Tiger King users do. Drop your hands to bait an attack to the face, roll or slip the strike, which should be feasible because of your predicting it from tells or expecting it because you baited it by dropping your hands from your face, leaving your face open, and as you slip, in the same motion, grab the arm, preferably at the wrist and elbow if you can manage that, climb that leg onto their neck, and, using the momentum of them falling due to trying to support the weight of an entire adult human on their arm, you knee them in the face. There are few people who, after having their face or chin forced into a knee that has the weight of 2 entire human beings behind it, would have the wherewithal to then attempt a reversal of the arm lock, and by the time they've recovered, you'll already be in a position to break their arm if they don't tap, with control of the wrist, elbow, and neck of the target. Also, side note before bringing this video to a close, on the topic of Chad from Scenic Fights, while doing research for this video, I actually found a video of Chad assisting an MMA instructor, head coach Renee Dreyfus, demonstrate a belly-down arm lock for Howcast 10 years ago. Hi baby Chad. Okay folks, I think that about covers the legendary Tiger King of Garouden and Baki fame. If you guys have anything you'd like to share about the Tiger King, or just in general, let me know in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe to stay up to date on all combat clarification videos, and leave a like to support the channel. Your help is greatly appreciated. If this video gets a meek, measly, humble little 60 likes in 1 week, I'll be covering the mechanics of Musashi's dash, the undisputed fastest unnamed technique in the series, which was requested over a year ago. The order of video releases following that looks a little something like this. A Kengan Techniques Explained for Stance of Suppression requested by Sam Dermody, a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained for Pickle's forward-leaning stance requested by Wild Ree, a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained for Vacuum Palm from NSL Kage, please make more videos soon bro, I miss them, a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained on Musashi's ultra high-level Sen no Sen from both the Black Knife Melee and JoJo Bod, which should be fun, a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained on Grappler Baki's most gruesome technique, Tunnel, from Paul Maddlehair, a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained on Dashin from Jitsu's Awakening on Discord, shout out to the homie, keep cutting that weight. Then we're on to requests from this year with a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained for Aiki from channel regular Henry Nugent, a Basically Mokichi Robinson for Jose Sana, a series we haven't done in a while now, a Grappler Baki / Garouden Techniques Explained for the fucking 0-inch Thunderclap from Ivan Lopez Rodriguez and Chris HD 7649, one I'm extremely excited to do, then a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained for Sangan as requested by Fido MF, then a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained for Submission from Borrego Ayudando, which will somewhat continue off of this video, focusing on the arm lock part of Tiger King specifically, then another fun one with Grappler Baki Techniques Explained Hand Pocket from PP Myanmar. I really like the science behind that one. And finally for right now, the requests I've received within the last half year, a Fate Servant tier list suggested by Senior House on the Discord, specifically ranking their compatibility as a servant even for an average master, a Kengan Techniques Explained for the Whip Strike of Bando Yohei for Nickel Krishnan 3711, another Kengan Techniques Explained for the Mighty Hammer of Burma for Aiden Dressel 6884, a Kengan Techniques Explained for Shen's Yogic Anti-Aging Breathing, which I'm very intimidated by because I'm pretty sure there's like no science behind it, a Grappler Baki Techniques Explained for the Apnea Rush for Sargetu, one that should be enlightening for many as it is, in fact, not just holding your breath, a Kengan Techniques Explained for their limping thing, where they disperse damage or shift their vitals for Dr. Salsa FK8NC, a Kengan Styles Explained for Jeet Kune Do for Just a Human 20, which I'm still very excited for, with Himuro being one of my favorites just for his style being JKD alone, a Kenichi Styles Explained for Ancient Jujutsu for Thundercats 4219 since they wanted a Kenichi video, and Akisame is one of my favorite masters, a Grappler Baki Styles Explained for Boxing for Fido MF 7922 and Otaku Nemesis 34, a Something Styles Explained for Taekwondo for Daken Taijutsu 2010 because I can't think of an anime or manga that I actually read or watch or like that has TKD in it except for that literal jobber in the Garouden Hokushin tournament and that one supernova dude in Kengan, a Grappler Baki Styles Explained on Judo for Shadow Rules Always, good to see you back Shadow, a JoJo Styles Explained for Hamon and Spin for Kusogaki Shion, can't fucking wait to do some more JoJo on the channel again, an MGS Styles Explained for CQC from Amaze 2341, a Mortal Kombat Styles Explained on Nightwolf's Vale Tudo, another suggestion from Sargetu, which will give me a chance to play some Nightwolf after forever, Something Styles Explained on Drunken Fist from the Honored 12361, just because, while I plan to cover it multiple times, I'm not sure which anime or manga I should use for my first video for Zichuan, a Something Styles Explained for Kenjutsu from Blakuma Black 6217 and Otaku Nemesis 34, also haven't picked what anime or manga I'll be looking at, and I don't want to do Musashi from Baki because I'd like to cover his Niten Ichi Ryu specifically for him, a Grappler Baki Styles Explained for the most based style in manga history, Chiharuism, for Admiral Trant 6150, a Grappler Baki Styles Explained for Natural Strength, So for characters like Hanayama or Oliva, maybe Ryuichi Takura, maybe not Pickle due to his different biology. Kengan styles explained on Kaiwan style for Jonas Nubert 6425, Epic Thomas 1000, and Nico Krasno 1851. I'm totally shocked by how popular that one is. Kengan styles explained for Muay Thai for Otaku Nemesis 34, since Kengan is one of the few mangas that doesn't job Muay Thai. Kengan explained on Superman Syndrome from Generic Protagonist 118 to talk specifically about Superman Syndrome and not any styles. Grappler Baki styles explained Swordless Nitanichi Ryu for JoJo Bod, which will be an absolute banger because I'm a massive Musashi stan. Grappler Baki styles explained Ninjutsu for Light Shadow 5294, covering Givaru's Mukakuri Ryu ninjutsu, and possibly the ninjutsu that makes an appearance later in Yuenchi, which is closer to the original stuff. A Guilty Gear styles explained for Slayer, requested by Jordan the Mask on Discord. A Kengan styles explained for Gao style for Ryuki is Insane, which will be something of a part 2 for the Nico style video. A Kengan styles explained on the Raishin style for Nico Krasno 1851 and Darklight 000, since the fictional styles are typically the ones that need more clarification, understandably. A Kengan styles explained on Formless for No KW9WU, one of the most and least complicated styles of Kengan. A Kengan styles explained for Ninjutsu for Nico Krasno 1851, because ninjutsu is just really popular, I guess. A Kengan styles explained on Boxing for Scared Mongoose 7027, since boxing is one of the most popular styles in manga and in the world. A Tough styles explained on Nada Shinkage Ryu for Ryuden, let's fucking go. A martial arts analysis for Heihachi, Jin, and Kazuya for user PJ1EC50M5G, since all of them practice Mishima style karate differently enough that it's based on 3 different styles of karate in real life. A One Punch Man styles explained for Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist for Predator Hunter 3169, literally only because you guys want it. And finally, an Elder Scrolls lore video requested by one Mr. Senior House on Discord. A little out of my typical wheelhouse, but I did just spend like 2 hours talking to my brother-in-law about Chim and Morrowind lore the other day, so I'm down. Alright, I've been Red Fox, the Phantom YouTuber, and this has been Combat Clarification Garouden Techniques Explained, Tiger King. I'll see you all next time. Peace.